Hello, this is John Paval with Access Arts Live. And boy, do we have a great show for you today. Our weekly organ concert and organ recital roundup is, I believe, the best that we've ever been able to offer you. There are just some highly interesting live streams going on this week that are wow. And I can't wait to get to them. But before I get to them, remember, if you're watching this on Facebook, click on the like button and we'll send you an invite so you can follow our page on Facebook. If you're watching on YouTube, please click the subscribe button underneath the video or at the end of the video in the lower right-hand corner. If you're watching us on our other platforms, please don't just like the video, like us and follow us. That would be on X, TikTok, Instagram, and Threads. We're everywhere because we want everyone to have access to these live streams. And if you follow or subscribe to us, I promise you, we will get you the live links to more than 1,000 live performances online in 2025. In order to do that, we only need to get you 83 live streams per month. We got you 82 in January, which was a slow month. So we're off to the races with this. And this is going to be great. So let me start taking you through the various, you see all these pictures I have there to me on the right with all of these different organists who are going to be playing this week in the live streams I'm telling you about. That's not all of them. There are more. Some of them I didn't have time to get their pictures, or we didn't know enough about them to put the pictures in. But this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And that's not all. So let me start with some of the regulars, really, because I can go through them fairly quickly because of the fact that they are, how do I put this? They're on every week. And we don't have any information about what they're going to be playing. So here are four of the regular live streams that we have every week, and I will go through them briefly to tell you when and where they're playing. The first of them is just in a half an hour from now. It's 6:30 in the evening on Tuesday, February 4th here in Europe, and 12:30 in the afternoon and on the East Coast in the U.S. and 9:30 in the morning on the West Coast. Anyway, and the first of these is going to be at 7 o'clock European time, or 1 o'clock on the East Coast, 10 o'clock in the morning on the West Coast, Pacific time. And it is the weekly live stream organ recital from St. James Cathedral in Toronto. This week, it's Sebastian Moreno, whom you see in the first picture there on the left-hand side. The picture's on my right, but he's the guy on the left, okay? He's the director of music at St. Jude's and the principal organist there. He got his Master of Arts at York University. Before that, he got a colleague diploma at the Royal Canadian College of Organists and studied at the Royal Conservatory of Music as well. I don't know what he's going to be playing. They don't tell us. The organ. This was originally an S.R. Warren organ like 150 years ago, rebuilt by Cassavant Frères in the 30s and rebuilt again in 1976 by L.I. Phelps and Associates. It has 87 ranks, 67 speaking stops, and what else? 6 divisions, 5,101 pipes. I think I might be able to just show you for a second here's the console and the organ pipework at St. James Cathedral in Toronto, Canada. Now let's go back to the boys. Next up will be on Wednesday. We have 2 more. Charles Andrews and Andrew Forbes will both be live streaming for you on Wednesday. Charles Andrews is the organist at the Temple Church, London. Their live stream on Wednesdays is at 1 o'clock London time, 2 o'clock European time, 8 in the morning on the East Coast, 5 in the morning on the West Coast. You may think that's too early, but I know that people working in Hollywood are often up that early. Both the actors and the technicians. And midnight, that'll be at midnight Australian Eastern Daylight Time. Charles Andrews is not only the organist at the Temple Church, he's also professor of organ and organ coordinator at the Augusta Royal College of Music, where he studied. The organ is a Harrison & Harrison limited organ, which was installed in 1954. It was first built for a ballroom up in Scotland in 1927, and the legendary organist Marcel Dupré came up from Paris to give the inaugural recital. They brought it down by rail from Scotland in 1953. They had a modern piston system installed in 2000 and a complete overhaul about 10 years ago, where most of the instrument was dismantled and reworked at the Harrison & Harrison workshop in Durham. Now, 10 minutes after that concert, and we don't know what he's playing, so I can't tell you more. 10 minutes later at 1:10 p.m. UK time, 2:10 in Europe, 8:10 in the morning on the East Coast, 5:10 in Pacific Daylight Time, 10 minutes after midnight in Australia. Andrew Forbes will be doing a recital at the Glasgow University Chapel. While I'm talking about Andrew Forbes there, I can show you. I didn't show you the pipe work on the guy before him, but hey, you can't have everything, right? Here's the pipe work on the Glasgow University organ while I'm talking about this guy. Andrew Forbes is the director of music at the Glasgow Cathedral. He's known for doing premiere performances by contemporary composers like Yves Castagnier, Jonathan Cole, Edwin Hillier, Roxana Panufnik. He was appointed at Glasgow Cathedral when he was only 21 years old. So he's a young guy, originally from Perth in Australia, which I've always wanted to go to. Studied at the Royal Conservatory of Scotland and Glasgow University. He's a founding artistic director of the Glasgow Cathedral Festival. And as I say, I don't know what he's going to be playing either. So that kind of leaves me at a loss for words about this guy as well. Now, the fourth of the people on that list of people doing the usual live streams is Canon Martin Green at St. Paul's Cathedral in San Diego. And I really like Canon Martin Green, so I'll give you his picture all by himself. Canon Martin Green. Well, let me introduce this properly. Where is his? We're jumping ahead to Friday night to get him out of the way. And then I'm going to tell you about all these incredibly interesting live streams that are going on. Friday, February 7th at 1 o'clock West Coast time in the U.S., Canon Martin Green will be giving one of his interesting and engaging weekly organ recitals at St. Paul's Episcopal Cathedral in San Diego. Martin Green is one of the most engaging and articulate organists that I know of. He never tells us in advance what he's going to be playing, but he always does an excellent selection. He also has this ability to explain to you musically why he chose to play which pieces he's playing without, as I like to put it, leaving you behind in the musicological dust. So I can commend him to you if you have nothing else going on Friday night. But I also want to tell you that there is so much that's going to be going on this week, starting on Friday. I mean, it is hard for me even to know where to start. But these are the four usual suspects that I can tell you about. And now I want to move on to introducing the Riverside Church live stream, which is coming up on this Thursday. And I don't think you want to miss it. There's the organist. The Riverside Church King of Instruments Organ Series is back for the winter with its more than 12,000 pipe organ, hosting the rising star organist Janet Yieh for its Thursday evening concert at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is every time I end up talking about the Riverside Church, and it's when they talk about the King of Instruments, they mean it. Before I tell you about Janet, let me explain. The Riverside Church organ was designed in 1948 by Virgil Fox, the legendary Virgil Fox, who was then the organist there. And Aeolian Skinner then built what Virgil Fox wanted. It was dedicated in 1955 in a concert with the New York Philharmonic, conducted by Dimitri Mitropoulos and Virgil Fox on the keyboards. It has 149 stops, 207 ranks, more than 12,000 pipes spread over 10 divisions with a 5-manual main console and a second 4-manual console. I mean, that's just wow. I'm usually talking about these great organs in Paris that have, say, 7,000. The Notre Dame Cathedral and the Saint Eustache Church have 7,952 pipes. This is 5,000 more. It's amazing its potential. Now, who's Janet Yieh? She's a Yale and Juilliard graduate. Got her musical and master's degree in organ performance from Yale School of Music. And then got a bachelor. Then she had her Bachelor of Music in organ from the Juilliard School. She's newly appointed director of music at the Church of Heavenly Rest on the Upper East Side in New York City, if you know the city, where she has a 138 rank Austin organ to play with. So does she look happy in that picture? Yes, she should. There she is at a nice keyboard. Anyway, she was named one of the 20 most promising artists under the age of 30 by Diapason magazine in 2017. She's toured throughout the U.S. and across the globe, and I'm not going to give you the list because it just takes too long. Regularly premieres new works for the organ, has been featured on NPR's radio show Pipe Dreams. She's got 2 CDs out. One of them, Julian Wachner's Symphony No. 1, and another one is just called Celebrating the Skinner Organ. I don't know more about them than that. She also launched in 2020 a platform called Amplify Female Composers with Carolyn Craig, which has apparently been very successful because they've made over 65 video recordings of Advent and Christmas music by women composers sung by 25 international parishes, cathedral, and university choirs. So that's that. A half an hour. Now, this concert is at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which means it's at 4 o'clock in the afternoon on the West Coast, which means it's at midnight here in Europe, or 10 in the morning the next day, Friday morning, down under in Australia. But a half hour before the concert begins, there's a Carillon concert, okay, on the Laura Spelman Rockefeller Memorial Carillon. And Rockefeller, the Carillon was named after Laura Spelman Rockefeller because that was Rockefeller's wife, and he paid for it and bought it for her. It's the world's largest carillon by weight. It has 74 cast bronze bells, including a 40,000-pound Bourdon bell. So, and you get to see the person playing that carillon and pulling these levers and all of that. But that will not be a Janet Yieh, and I do not have the name of the person who is going to be playing that. If you want to have a photo of the organ, I think I can show you just for a second. I hope I have a picture of the Riverside organ for you. Yeah, I have a triple picture of it for you. Those of you who really love organs, you might want to see it. There is the console on the top. On the left is most of the pipe work. And then that lower right-hand corner, they have these horizontal pipes that they built in, which I really love. And they're very proud of having installed those. And those really give you some sound that you will not get from pipes that are straight up. So I think it'll be quite a concert, even though I don't know what Janet Yieh is going to play, because they don't tell us always, which is very frustrating sometimes with these organ concerts. So who's up next? Okay, now the next concert we have to tell you about, I think, let me double check before I pull up the photo. No, the next concert, I don't have a photo for. So let's pull down the picture entirely and let's just get cozy. See, I got a candle there. I got a little boat up there to show that we're traveling around the world. Anyway, the next concert is very interesting, but I have limited information about it. This is I can show you a picture of the organ they're going to be using. It's from the Tomsk Philharmonic. What do you call that? Organ hall. And here's the organ in the Tomsk Philharmonic. That's out in Siberia. I know I'm telling you about a live stream coming from Siberia, but I think it's really fascinating, and I think you may be interested in what it's about. Now, let me give you a proper introduction for it. The Tomsk Philharmonic live streams an organ and song concert this Friday with songs and music about the air, about flight, and about the cosmos, classic songs and melodies, and music from science fiction films. Yes. Well, now you know what it is. I mean, I don't have a lot more to say. I can give you the names of the performers. You probably won't know them. Maria Blazevich on the organ, Elena Serova is the soprano, and Vyacheslav Klimenko, the baritone. If you know them, more power to you. They'll be doing things like an aria by Bach, songs by Rameau, Couperin, several songs by Rachmaninoff and Tchaikovsky. Well, they're Russian. Music from Jupiter, from Gustav Holst's The Planets, and then pieces like Zimmer's music for the film Interstellar, a number of pieces by Rybnikov, which are fantasies on themes of space films, music by the themes of the film Star Wars, and that more or less covers it. If you're interested in air and flight and space, you might enjoy this organ recital. What do we have next for you coming up? Okay, now this next one is really wild. I mean, this next one is one of the reasons why in my introduction I said, wow, do we have an incredible lineup this time, okay? This next one involves 4 organists, not 1, but 4. Anna Vetlugina and Marina Omelchenko, who are the resident organist at the Catholic Cathedral in Moscow, Dmitry Maximento, who's the resident organist at the Anglican Cathedral in Moscow, and this last guy, it's Gleb Mikhailov. I don't know who Gleb is, but I think what they're going to be doing, it doesn't matter. Okay, Let me introduce this to you properly, because I just think it's terrific. All right, this Friday, 4 organists on 4 organs at the Catholic Cathedral in Moscow take on the legendary Canto Ostinato by Dutch composer Simeon ten Holt, a work which can take anywhere from 2 hours to 24 hours, depending on the musicians. That will be Friday at 7 o'clock European time, 1 o'clock on the East Coast, 10 in the morning on the West Coast, and 9 in the evening in Moscow, which is where it's taking place. Simeon ten Holt is a Dutch composer, and he completed this piece in 1976. It was performed for the first time in 1979. It can be performed by any combination of instruments. Often it's done with several pianos, but you can have a flute and a violin or whatever you want. The thing is, the composer created 106 small cells called sections. Each one is a few bars. And they can be played just ad lib and repeated 1 or more times, and that's the piece. And then at the end, there's this sort of triumphant melody which breaks through in the grand finale. So they're going to have 4 organs located on 4 sides of the cathedral, and 2 at the top and 2 at the bottom, and they're going to have at it. And we don't know how long this is going to take place. But I'm telling you, you don't get a lot of opportunities to hear this piece. Let me make sure I get the name right. Canto Ostinato, which means, I think, stubborn song. And this can be, they can play as long as they want. I don't know how long they're going to play, but you probably have never heard it on the organ before, and you're probably never going to hear it on the organ again. And not knowing how much longer it's going to go on, I think it's part of the fun. So you do want to watch it live if you're going to watch it. Okay, Well, that's the first thing that we have up Friday night, but that is by no means the last thing. The next thing that will be coming your way will be, I've already mentioned to you, Canon Martin Green with the 1 o'clock West Coast time weekly live stream. But that's not all on Friday, okay? Because there's another top organist coming along, and we know what she's going to be playing, and this is going to be a very ambitious concert. Oh, yes. There, by Isabelle Demers. Friday evening in Seattle, St. Mark's Cathedral live streams a 2-hour organ recital by the highly acclaimed Quebecois Isabelle Demers from McGill University on what they call the mighty Flétron organ. Yes, this will be Friday at 7:30 in the evening Pacific Standard Time, so it's after all the first two live streams that I told you about. You may be able to watch the Canto Ostinato and also catch this. This is the program she'll be playing. The first half of the program, she plays Mendelssohn Sonata No. 1 in F minor, Opus 65. Then she plays Brahms's Variations on a Theme of Handel, transcribed by Lorin. Then she's going to take a break because that's a lot. Then she's going to come back and play the Sweelinck Variations, Opus 96, by Rachel Lorin, and then Stravinsky's The Firebird Suite. And I think she's playing the whole thing. So this is going to be a bombastic concert performance. It's not your usual half-hour to 45-minute organ recital. Let me show you the organ, which they are very, very proud of what they call their mighty Flétron organ, Flametrop organ. Hold on a second. I think I need to fix that picture for you in order to show it to you. It will take me just 1 second, but it needs to be fixed before I can put it up. I am sorry about that. Isabelle Demers is what they write about her performance ability. The critics are ecstatic about it when they talk about it. There, I've got the. Apparently, she did one concert once at for the National Association of Organists, the National Convention of the American Guild of Organists in 2010. Her performance was so terrific that they called her back to the stage 5 times. I mean, that's how good she was. Let me show you this the mighty Flentrop organ that they're so proud of. You notice the peculiar wood that it is made of. That is African and Brazilian mahogany with patinated copper pipes. It was built by the Dutch firm of D.A. Flentrop, installed in 1965. It isn't that large. It has 3,900 some pipes, but they range in size from 32 feet to less than 1 inch, which is an impressive range. It has 58 speaking stops distributed over 4 manuals and pedals. So it was the first 20th century organ of its size in North America to employ mechanical key action. It's maintained by the Paul Fritz Organ Builders. Now, if you look closely at that picture, you're going to see it has, once again, in the lower left-hand corner, trompetas, which are these trumpet-like pipes that project. Now, these were built and installed in 2011. They were inspired by these kind of horizontal pipes found in Spain, Portugal, and Mexico in the 17th and 18th century cathedrals, and specifically based upon the trompetas found on an organ in Santanyí, Mallorca, built by Jordi Bosch in 1762, and considered to be one of the greatest organs ever built. So that's really something. So you've got this terrific organ, which you haven't heard before. You have this this wonderful organist, and she's playing, 2 hours worth of great music. I mean, how much more do you want, really? So I don't know how you can turn that one down. And that's not it for the evening yet, though. No, the evening isn't done. yet. I could tell you more about Isabelle, but we have to keep moving on here, folks. So that was it for your Friday evening. Just a whole number of different kinds of interesting ones. Then we jump ahead to Sunday for the last of the organ recitals that I want to tell you about. And let me give you a picture of the organist. She's very young. She's one of these prodigies. I have a separate picture of her. If I can't find the right one, I'll put up another one instead. I'll put up another one instead because I can't find the one that I want. Oh, here it is. Mélodie Michel. She's very young. Okay. French-American organist prodigy Mélodie Michel takes on the challenge of playing Charles-Marie Widor's entire Fifth Symphony, Opus 42, number 1, at this Sunday's usual live stream from Saint Eustache Church in the heart of Paris. I may well be there because I often attend them when I'm in Paris, and I am in Paris. And when I do so, before, like 15 minutes before the recital, I do a live stream in which I show you the church from outside, and then I walk you into the church, and so you can really be immersed in saying, well, here's the ceilings, here's the manual, here are the manuals, here's the pipework and all of that. It's interesting. People seem to like it and respond to it and actually watch the live stream. So there's not much more to tell you about Charles-Marie Widor. He's one of the greats in the French Silver Age tradition. He's as for this young Franco-American organist, Mélodie Michel. She started studying music when she was 4 years old. One of these prodigies. At age 16. They took her into the National Conservatory for Music and Dance in Paris when she was just 16 years old. That was 4 years ago. So she's 20 now. She's all grown up. She's also studied the piano, the violin, and musical composition at the regional school in music conservatory in Versailles. She's already played at the main churches in Paris, Saint-Sulpice, Saint-Eustache, Saint-Séverin, at Notre Dame, etc. And in 2021, they say she created Versa Est in Luctum for organ and double choir by Pierre-Alain Bray-Weppe for the composition competition in Saint-Sulpice, which won first prize and the internet prize. As for the organ that she's going to be playing, I've told you about this organ before. I will tell you about it again. I can show you a picture of this organ. And as I'm trying to do so, every conceivable file opens up for me, and I have to shut it down before I can show you this. Here's the Saint Eustache, as they like to refer to it, the Saint Eustache organ. There's the console, the 5-manual console, and the pipework. There are 101 stops, 7,952 pipes, and it's a 5-manual console. So, and at the concerts themselves, there are like 300 people attend or more for these concerts. The French, many of these live streams that I tell you about, especially the ones earlier in the week, it'll be in a huge cathedral, a great organist, a wonderful selection of music, and there'll be 10 people there. Not so at Saint Eustache. Hundreds of people, Parisians, show up every Sunday for these concerts, and they absolutely love them. There's standing room only. They block off half of the church for the concert, and it fills up, and you actually have people standing in the back because there are no seats left. It's a great experience, and I encourage you to tune into it because it's always a quality selection. All right, well, that's what we have for you for this week, folks. Let me remind you once again, if and when you see this, whether you see it as a live stream or whether you see it as a recording, if you're watching on Facebook, click on the like button and we'll send you an invite to follow us. On YouTube, click on the subscribe button, and don't just like the video on our other platforms, like us, subscribe to or follow us on X, TikTok, Instagram, and or Threads. I hope that one or more of these organ recital live streams inspires you, uplifts you, or just shows you a great time. I mean, that canto, Ostinato, who knows how long it's going to last with 4 organs? I mean, that is unusual. Ciao for now. I'll be back tomorrow with the weekly roundup of chamber music live streams this week, and there's a whole raft of that coming up too.